Good morning, good afternoon, good whatever it is, wherever you are. We are sick. We have a house full of sick people, 2 sick boys, and I'm just a little bit under the weather. So I just mixed up my recipe of past tense that I put all over our foreheads and temples to help cool us off, especially when you have a fever, especially when you have a migraine. So there's that video. And I'm just going to tell you, there's a few things that we are doing to boost our immunity. These aren't the only things in the world. These just happen to be the things we are doing right now. For boosting our immunity, we are using things like this. The thing that boosts our immunity that we always try to do as soon as we start getting a hint of the sniffles or cough or whatever it is we jump in the shower, do a hot and cold shower, contrast shower. And no, it's not the most fun thing in the world, but it is effective. So you want to get in and you want to get 3 minutes of hot, the hottest that you can stand. And if you have to work up to it, that's okay for the first switch. So you want to do hot, and if you have a shower that does on your back, on your face, on your chest, everywhere, that's all the better. If you have all those shower heads, we have one that will do this kind of thing, and then that's raining down on us, so that's really nice. I did that last night, and the boys have been doing those. So 3 minutes of hot, work up to the hottest that you can stand it. Don't overdo it, obviously, use common sense. But then after 3 minutes, switch to as cold as you can stand. And you know, you've heard of like the ice bucket challenge and plunging into ice water. Well, there's a reason for that, and that is because that cold water, it not only shocks your system and it makes you scream, but it causes a constriction of your blood vessels, which has a pumping effect. And so all that hot water causes your blood vessels to relax, and so that brought lots of blood into your blood vessels. Well, when you do the cold, it squeezes them, and so that shoots the blood through your circulation, so that gets your circulation moving. And so you do 30 seconds. You can stand 30 seconds. You can spray, you can jump, you can tap, you can whatever to get through it. And don't shock yourself so that you're going to faint. It'll be okay. As long as your bathroom is warm, you can stand it. Don't do this in a bathroom that's cold. Don't do it outside because you don't want to get chilled. Yeah, spray your feet down in 30 seconds and then quickly go to hot again. 3 minutes more of hot, 30 seconds of cold. If you start to feel faint with the hot water, keep cold water on your head. You don't want to faint. And hot water can vasodilate you so much that your blood vessels relax so much that you can get a lowering of your blood pressure really fast. So you don't want to do that. So the cold will squeeze the blood vessels, and that will increase the white blood cells in your circulation. They've done tests. And if you're interested to find out some of the research, go to the mustardseed.com. Walt Cross, he has a lot of details on some of these. Really good stuff. So you want to do this 3 times. 3 of hot, 3 of cold. Always end with cold. And I will promise you that by the time you're on your 3rd change to cold, you will welcome it, because the hot, you start to really get hot. And so this can really help you to just boost your immune system. It gets your circulation going and increases your white count. And then when you're done with that, you're going to want to go crawl in bed and rest and drink a lot of water, because the resting phase is just almost as important as the active stage, because your white count is high. Let those white blood cells go through your body to attack whatever they're going to look for. Boost your immune system with a hot and cold shower. You can do that more than once per day, and you will feel pretty good when you get out of it. Some off-grid homestead considerations. All of these hot and cold showers are requiring a lot more water to go through our system, and we do have the gravity feed off of the solar well pump. So somebody has had to come up here and more frequently fill this tank, and that somebody has been me, because even though I was sick, somebody has to take care of the kids. And so Yeah, I actually feel like getting out here, climbing up this hill, even though that's not been what I wanted to do all the time. I think that's helped me to not get hit as hard, and I really don't know. I have been continuing to do a variation of the 75 hard. I'm on day like 43 now, and I just didn't want the sickness to interfere with that. And so yesterday I hiked up this hill. It was a slow hike, but I did do my 2 45-minute walks, and obviously I made considerations for being sick, but I just think it's important to get out and get moving. And getting out in the sunshine and fresh air really gave me a boost. Honestly, by the time I was done with my first walk, I had noticed that my headache had gone away, or I should say it lessened. It hadn't completely gone, but it had definitely diminished. And here I am hiking up this hill again. And just to be fair, I am sitting down and taking a rest because I'm not fully back to normal. But I definitely have noticed that the sickness has been kinder to me than to my boys. And I think there's two things at play here, maybe more, that I don't understand. The first one being, I believe that God has just been merciful to me, because when you have really sick people, somebody has to be bringing the water and the supplements and making sure their temperature doesn't go too high. When you're a nurse, you don't have time to stay sick. And so I did take a rest yesterday. I slept for a few hours. I got up and exercised, and I think the Lord had mercy on me. Also, I think at play, and I don't know how much this is at play, but I think there probably is something to this, that I have been doing the 75 hard, and my version of workouts is not anything like going to the gym. I'm just really pretty casual about it. I mostly walk, get out in the fresh air. I do the trampoline, and I do some light weights. But when I was sick, obviously I'm just doing the scaled down version. So walking in the sunshine and fresh air. And I do believe that that is helping me, because usually I get hit really hard with things. And so I'm being very careful. I have not been eating sugar, and been keeping my diet really clean. And so that's not at all tooting my own horn. It's just saying I think that the measures that you take to improve your health do make a difference. And so I'm very glad. I'm feeling pretty good. I have a little bit of something going on with my head, and that's just telling me that I'm going to walk a little bit, and then I'm going to go lay down and rest again, because it's just telling me that I'm not out of the woodwork yet, but hitting all these things has really allowed it to not set in really hard for me, because yesterday it was hard. I was having a difficulty getting up to my boys, because they're up 2 flights of stairs, and then Adam has another ladder straight up into his loft, and I was like, why do you have to get sick in your loft? But been doing it, and they are improving now. We've been running a lot of the hot and cold showers, and so we had to do another thing. We have recently installed a tankless hot water heater, and those things are governed for some reason at 120 degrees. And so that was a real pain, because to take a hot and cold shower, you need it hot. Not hot enough to scald you, but you need it above 120. And so we couldn't figure out how to change it. And there were all these warnings in the manual. Don't do this unless you're a qualified technician. And finally, I wasn't the one who installed it, so I don't understand all the ins and outs of it. But I went through the manual yesterday when I woke up from my nap, and I did find a place where it told us how to adjust the temperature. So we were able to get that adjusted, and so now it's up at 140, which is a little bit too hot, so we have to be careful. So now we can mix more cold in, but it's really important, if you're gonna do the hot and cold, that you get it hot enough to warm up your body, so that the cold isn't a big shock to your system. Just important. Yeah, filling up the tank more, and what can I say? I feel like we are making improvements, and I hope that these things can be a help to some people. So another thing that we do is right now we are taking the black elderberry. These happen to be capsules. I like to make my own black elderberry syrup. I don't have any right now. We haven't had a source for elderberries, but I will make a syrup, and I like to make it personally without the really high sugar content, and so I will do it with glycerin, and I have a recipe on my blog for a low sugar version. You can also make it with honey or maple syrup. I personally don't put alcohol in mine. You can get the sambucol, which is a preparation of black elderberry syrup, and I may do a tutorial on how to make the syrup because we are in the season for cold and flu and all that wonderful stuff. Black elderberry is really good. It's been shown to have antiviral effects, and so it's good for cold and flu and stuff like that. So boosting our immune system with vitamin D. This happens to be the vitamin D3, which is the plant-based version. So we like to boost our, kind of up our consumption of that. Getting lots of sunshine will do the same thing. And then we like to take the liposomal vitamin C. You can get it in packets. These we're getting in capsules. You save a lot of money by getting them in the capsules. But the liposomal vitamin C has been changed, and so your body can absorb it a lot faster. We up our dosage of that and then drink lots of water. This is a water-soluble vitamin, and so you need to keep it in your system more. And then vitamin D3 is a fat-soluble, so you have to watch your dosage on that. This is another blend that we got, that actually we were just given by some missionaries from Cambodia. And it smells really kind of similar to the past tense. This is called Golden Lotus Menthol Oil. And it has some good stuff in it. It says it's for mental. It's good for muscle rubs, trauma, sprains, insect bites, and itching. This is very similar to the past tense, but it has another element that is very Indian. And I don't know what it is, or Cambodian. Okay, it has menthol, camphor, borneol, turmeric, and methyl salicylate. And if you don't know what methyl salicylate is, I'm pretty sure that's just the same ingredient that is in wintergreen. Wintergreen is a salicylate, which is in the family that aspirin is in. Aspirin is acetyl salicylate, ASA. Acetyl salicylate acid, I believe is what it is. Don't quote me on that. It's been a while since I've looked it up. But so this is a good thing too for cooling, and it has the cooling properties of the wintergreen and the menthol. So it smells a little bit different, but we're trying it out for different things. So our friends from Cambodia, we thank you so much for bringing this to us, because in a pinch, I like to have all these kind of things that are on hand. This one kind of reminds me of like your deep blue muscle rub, icy hot type thing. I have noticed that you can get a version of this, like a cream, on Amazon, but I don't know if you can get the actual oil, because this is straight from Cambodia. This is the real deal, guys. Hand delivered. We are so blessed. I treasure that. Another thing that we are adding is lots of lemon and lime juice. We just squeeze it by hand and add it to a quart of water. And because I have one who has been not eating since several days, I'm adding liquid IV to his, because it gives electrolytes, which he needs. So for now, I've split this package up between 2 quarts to see how he handles it, and then I'll add more as the day goes by. I will say that if they were throwing up or had diarrhea or something, they would be getting more of the liquid IV or, electrolyte solution. They are not. They're just puny. They're not eating much. So if they were sweating a lot, which Andrew actually is sweating probably with his fever, so I've added a pinch of salt to his, and kind of just stir that up because the electrolyte solution's on the bottom. Have to stay hydrated. And then this is another oil that we use. This is very similar to the On Guard from doTERRA. I find this one from Rocky Mountain Oils, and we honestly will just take some drops of this internally, flush it with water, or put it in food. You can also rub it on the bottom of your feet, and it absorbs that way, but we find internally it's better. This is a hot oil. It does have like clove in it, and also ginger. I was trying to see if it had cinnamon. It does not. Yes, it does. It has cinnamon, and so it's hot, and so you have to be careful. You might want to dilute this one. I'm not prescribing anything. I'm just saying this is what we use around our household when the sickness comes. And then we also have a version of this that has frankincense in it. It's called Sacred Immune, and it's just like a notch above this one that we have, that we keep on hand. So that's the kind of stuff that we are hitting our sicknesses with right now. Unfortunately, once you get sick, it's hard to kind of get it out. It's better to do all this when sickness is roaming about and when it's in the air. And so I'm trying to keep this going. Greg's keeping this going in him. And then, you know, getting your sleep, your 8 natural remedies, which are, let's go through nutrition, good nutrition, no sugar. As far as diet, when you're sick, it's usually best to eat lighter, focus on a lot of fluids, light soups, whatever your body is kind of telling you is what you can sort of go with. And when you don't have an appetite, don't force it. But I think the biggest thing is to eliminate all forms of sugar, even most of the natural ones, because sugar and vitamin C compete with each other for the same receptor site. They're very similar in structure, and so you want the vitamin C to be able to help with your immunity. So you don't need the sugar to clog up those receptor sites. So lay off the sugar, use alternate forms, and you know, when you're sick, you don't have to have really sweet stuff. One thing that kind of bothers me is like in your hydration drinks like Gatorade and Powerade, they're always so full of sugar. There's one that we get that is Body Armor Light, and it is sweetened with stevia only. There's no artificial sweeteners in there. So I don't like to do the artificial sweeteners either. I just feel like they're not good for your brain. But so I think it's good to stay hydrated for sure. And sometimes you need the electrolytes. And I will say that the liquid IV that I am giving the boys for hydration does have a small amount of sugar to work with the other electrolytes, but we want to keep it at a minimum. Exercise to keep your lymph flowing, and the mini trampoline is a really good way to get your lymph going. They say 5 minutes on the mini trampoline is like 30 minutes of walking, which is pretty amazing. Okay, nutrition, exercise, water, drink lots of water, more when you're sick, sunshine. Okay, as far as the sunshine goes, it's really good to get as much of your body exposed as you can. So if there's an area that you can go that's very secluded, it's okay to expose a lot of your skin. Just watch out for the neighbors and watch out for burning. But there have been studies done back in the 1800s about sunbathing and how the vitamin D really helps immunity. And they were studying children who had compromised immune systems, rickets, and different things. And they found that putting them in a school where they got a lot of sun exposure really helped their health. So especially when you're fighting a sickness, the vitamin D from the sun is very important. And if you're in an area that doesn't get a lot of sunshine, then taking the vitamin D supplements is really important to keep your D levels up. Most people have subpar vitamin D levels they're finding these days. So get out and get some sunshine. It helps you feel better too. Just gives your mind a boost. Temperance, you know, no sugar, no alcohol, no things that are gonna hurt your body, no alcohol. I think I just said that. Temperance, air, fresh air, keep your air circulating. Rest, I already mentioned that. More when you're sick. START, trust in God. Trusting that He will show you what you need, and that He will help you, and that He is with you even when you feel miserable. New Start, that's the acronym. nutrition, exercise, water, sunshine, temperance, air, and rest. Trust in God. Someone should make a song about that. Oh, maybe they have.